If you have a teenager or young adult kid who is constantly procrastinating, feeling confused about their future, feeling bad about themselves, please pay close attention to what you are about to learn in this video, which is a really powerful evening routine. And this evening routine is going to be the difference that can make all the difference in terms of positive behavioral changes in your children. Why? Because oftentimes, as parents, when we hope to see more positive changes in our children, we believe the only thing we need to do more of is more reminders, more education, more lectures, and even more nagging. Let me tell you this right now, it does not work because a big part of motivation comes from seeing our own progress and also creating systems and structures and relying on the systems and structures to hold our children accountable so that they can have those positive behavioral changes. So that is why having a solid routine is so powerful. And for most young people, if you have a kid who is attending school right now, you can probably agree with me that every morning it is always a rush. There's no time for your kid to actually have a morning routine. Or if you have an older kid, a kid maybe taking a gap year right now, or maybe you have a kid who has already graduated from college and they are looking for jobs. So if your kid is already struggling with procrastination, lack of motivation, there's no way that your kid will actually get up early in the morning and have a morning routine. It does not work. That's why for young people, the evening routine and a fully optimized evening routine is the difference that can make all the difference in terms of their confidence, motivation, and future success. What is this evening routine? That is exactly what we're going to discuss in this video. And I'm going to share with you 4 critical elements that you can implement today into your children's evening routine, and then you can see immediate positive behavioral transformations in your kid. Okay, if that is what you want to learn more about, keep on watching. So who am I to discuss this topic? My name is Dr. AI. I'm an award-winning former college professor turned life coach. I specialize in serving teenagers and young adults, helping them overcome procrastination, overcoming screen addiction, overcoming self-doubt, enhancing their executive functioning skills so that those young people can reclaim and elevate their confidence and motivation so that they can achieve the success they deserve in school and beyond. Okay, so let's get started with today's topic. What is this evening routine? As I said, 4 critical elements. The first one is celebration. I bet you do, like, what is the connection between celebration and evening routine? And the connection is huge. And a big part of celebration is that when you celebrate, you are actually acknowledging the progress that you have made in a day, in a week, in a month, in a quarter. And a big part of motivation from this book, written by Daniel Pink, titled Drive. I will share the link to this book in the description box. So in this book, the author identified 3 key elements to help anyone reclaiming and elevating their motivation: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So mastery is what we're talking about here. A big part of mastery is actually seeing and acknowledging that I'm actually making progress. That is why daily celebration is so critical. And the system I'm talking about here, the 4 elements, is actually from my planner. This is the planner that I created for my own students in my coaching program, the Disruptors Planner, Creation, Transformation, and Acceleration. And the message is, it is time to disrupt your life and to have some innovation, create a new version of you. And so the 4 elements I'm going to share with you. The first one, celebration, is actually, all of the 4 elements comes from this. This is the daily page So this is a pretty big planner. As you can see, this is a yearly planner, have at least 400 pages. So this is the daily view, right? So every day exactly the same daily view. And so I'm going to explain some of the key elements. And I myself have been using this planner for a long time. So this is the planner I'm using for this year. As you can see, already like lots of notes. So my planner is my second Bible and really important. So celebration. So the night before, in the evening, when I kick off my evening routine, I start with celebration. And I check off the things from my to-do list, from my priority list. I acknowledge my own progress. And this is a part that I do with my own children. I have 3 boys, my 13, 10, and 3. So my 3-year-old doesn't really join us for this, but my older kids do planning and reflection with me. So every evening, we do celebration. We celebrate our wins. Hey, what went really well today? We literally acknowledge the progress. We literally acknowledge the major celebrations, and we celebrate each other, genuinely celebrating each other. Celebration doesn't have to be huge. Like, for example, today I recorded a YouTube video, which is exactly what I plan to do. So that is going to be my celebration. Today, I spoke in class. Today, I overcame a challenge. Today, I talked to a stranger. Today, I did what I'm supposed to do. Like, can be really, really small things. Today, I helped someone. And so regardless, when you are celebrating, you are really helping your children to see their progress, and seeing their progress helps them build their motivation. Okay. And another reason that we do this daily celebration, and this is also what I do with my students. So with my students, I do one-on-one coaching calls with them. Every coaching call, we start with celebration. And this is an important reason. The second one is an important reason that I kick off every single coaching call with my student with celebration. The second reason is that I want to introduce this concept, which is called negativity bias. What is negativity bias? This is a really popular psychology concept. Negativity bias means that our brain will actually pay more attention to the negative things, negative events, negative news, negative people than the positive things. Why? Because a key major function for our human brain is to keep us safe. So as a result, over millions of years, we developed this tendency to scan our environment, to pay more attention to the negative, the potential dangers, so that we can survive. So we have this negativity bias, which is to keep us safe. Because if you are only paying attention to the positive, you will be in danger sooner or later, right? So that's why when you look at news, it is always negative. It can always get our attention. So we have developed this negativity bias. Or even for you, when you think about your whole day, maybe there's only one small thing that didn't go really well today. But that is the thing that you will remember. When I look at my YouTube channel, there are so many hearts, loves, likes, but there's one dislike, and I will remember that dislike. I will remember that mean comment. It is human nature, negativity bias. But you can see that's why it is really important to do the celebration, so that you can have a healthy dose of negativity bias to keep you safe. But at the same time, you can be intentionally cultivating your positivity bias. This is a muscle that many young people do not have. Because I work with so many young people, one group of them do not have motivation, but another group of young people do not have confidence. And this is a big part I do with every one of them, which is to build your positivity bias. It is like a muscle, right? When you go to the gym, you build your muscle, arm muscle, like whatever muscle you need to build. This positivity bias, it is a very important muscle. If you want your children to be confident, to be motivated, they have to also pay attention to the positive things in their lives, not only always pay attention to the negative. That is a recipe for self-doubt, like invalidation, feeling bad about yourself all the time. So we always start our evening routine with celebration for those two important reasons. Motivation, seeing progress, and positivity bias. If you can really make sure that your children do this, you are building such a solid foundation for your children for their future success, because life comes with negativity. Life comes with uncertainty. If your children can develop the muscle for scanning positivity, they are going to have the resilience they need to survive real life or school-related challenges. So that is the first part, which is here on my planner. So that box, the box I showed you here, that is the daily celebration. Next to the box is reflection, which is how can I make today even better, right? And that's the second part. Reflection, and a big part of reflection, I want you to really remember this. This is something I learned from my own coach many years ago, which is assessment without judgment. Repeat after me. Assessment without judgment. In fact, I was having a coaching call with a young lady today. Such a great girl, such a great young lady. I really love her. Just like I love all of my students. She's so good. But, she and her parents, and I feel like many parents were guilty of this. Because we love our children so much, when we are trying to help our children, sometimes intentionally or unintentionally, we become judgmental. We are making unnecessary comparisons between our children and other children. And when we do such things to our children, and they feel bad. So it is really important when you do your daily reflection, what could I have done differently to make today even better? And you really want to make sure you practice this assessment without judgment. That's why in all of my coaching calls, we do unconditional love, unconditional support. And the most important part of all of my coaching calls is assessment, no judgment. And I cannot tell you how many times my students will actually share things with me, but they are afraid to share with their parents almost every single day. They will tell me something, Dr. I don't tell my parents. It's not because they do not love their parents. They do love their parents, but because they are afraid of being judged, being criticized. So it is really important when your children, or when you are doing this daily reflection with your children, really practice assessment, no judgment. Okay? And by the way, now I'm looking at this list, I'm remembering another point I forgot to mention in terms of celebration. And because I have been doing this with my own children for many years, and I cannot tell you how many times by the end of the day, after we finish the whole routine, my children will tell me, Mom, even though I didn't feel today was a good day, but now we finished the whole routine, I feel like today is a great day. And the big part of this is really the celebration. And also you want to make sure assessment without judgment, because you don't want your children to feel like they're being criticized, being judged by the end of the day. That will affect their sleeping quality, okay? And so that is the second thing I do. The third thing I do of my evening routine is that I plan for the next day. And something I truly believe is what I have here on the screen: fail to plan, plan to fail. And I cannot tell you how many times when I tell my brain, hey, listen, you need to remember that, but I forget to write down what I need to remember on a piece of paper, I totally forget. So, and then I forget to show up. I forget to submit something. So fail to plan, plan to fail. If you have school children or young adults who are looking for jobs, this is really important. And this is actually the top part of the planner. You can see here, which is today's priorities and to-do list. So this is a part that priority to-do list here. This is what I map out the night before with myself. I look at my digital planner. If you are only, or if your children are only relying on a digital planner, it doesn't really work as effectively as a combination of a digital and a physical planner. I remember there's one research that has shown when you are actually physically writing down your goals on a piece of paper, you are 42% more likely to actualize the goal. I'm all about working not only harder, but smarter. If writing down my goal can help me accomplish my goals by 42%, like I'm definitely writing down everything. This is what I share with my students all the time because many young people today, they do so much digital stuff. They don't want to. They don't take notes in class. They don't write down anything. It is not a good thing. When you are writing down things, you actually activate your brain more than relying on everything digitally. Okay. And so the night before, we look at our digital calendar. We discuss, we think, and we map out the priorities for the next day and to-do list for the next day. And so when I actually design the planner for my students. So what I mean by priorities are the things that can really advance your goals, like long-term or short-term goals. A to-do list is more like a task, like I need to clean my room and I need to go to the gym, which is also very important. And but depends, right? So if you are doing a competition, maybe going to the gym or physical competition, maybe going to the gym is a priority. But the key, but you can see the difference. A priority is something. It is a task that can actually advance your long-term or short-term goals if the task is completed. Okay, a to-do is more like a little bit more tedious. Clean my room, organize my room, dentist appointment, this and that, the smaller things. But priorities are the big, long-term, big task that can advance your long-term goals. And for if you have a kid who is a student, and definitely priorities are school related, right? Do they have major assignments due? And have all of the major assignments are their priorities, right? And maybe they have to study, they have to review, they have to email. Some of those things can be part of the to-do list. But the key is that the night before, have this thinking and planning process so that your kid can be ready for the next day. If you have a young adult or a kid who is taking a gap year, they're looking for internships, they're looking for jobs, a big part of their priority list is resume, LinkedIn, building those connections and applying to more jobs or internships. So those should be the priority. Okay, so based on the situation, just remember a priority is a task that can actually advance the long-term goal if the task is completed. Okay, fail to plan, plan to fail. So that is the third thing I do, third part of my evening routine. I'm spending lots of time explaining each of the 4 elements, but once you get used to this entire process, it will take you no more than 10 minutes. And I do this with my entire family, my children, and the whole process will take between 10 minutes to 30 minutes if all of my kids join me. But most of the time, I only do it with my oldest, and it's like 10 minutes. Last but not least is gratitude list. So we always, I'm sorry, I think you are having a hard time seeing this. I apologize. But the last one is gratitude list. So we end the day with gratitude. And here, this is the bottom of the planner. And you can see when I design the planner, because many of my students, they're like, I don't know what to be grateful for. So I actually have 4 pretty powerful prompts, which are, I'm grateful because I am, I can, I have, I did. And as I said earlier, and I can't tell you how many times after we finish the whole process, my children will tell me, Mom, after they give me a hug, after we practice our gratitude list, they will tell me, oh, Mom, today is a good day. And that makes me feel so happy. We always want to make sure we end the day on a positive note. And a hug, a kiss, so they can go to sleep peacefully, have sweet dreams. And so gratitude is a big part of our evening routine. And I will also say this, what I have here is hard for you to see, but what I have on the whiteboard is collective identity can always override individual identity. So another reason that we do family gratitude list is because I really want to nurture and strengthen our family collective identity. As a family, we value family love. We value family time and relationship. As a whole family, we value healthy eating. As a whole family, we value dinner time without all sorts of screen, iPad, phone, TV distractions. We value that. So when you can create that family identity, this family collective identity can always override individual identity. So if you have a kid in your family who loves eating snacks, who loves eating junk food, no, let's be honest, junk food tastes good, right? So if that's the case, so instead of always targeting this particular kid, hey, listen, why are you always eating junk food? Create that collective identity. As a whole family, we are very careful about what we put into our mouth because we are what we eat, right? So then for the gratitude list, you can practice, I am a healthy eater. So every family, like this I am list, I am grateful because I am yes, I am a healthy eater. Like sometimes I would say because I am a reader or I love reading books. And so when you repeat those things a lot, you are really unintentionally and subconsciously creating a collective family identity. The more powerful this collective family identity is, this identity can always override individual identity. And this is such a great way to end the day to instill some healthy habits and identities into your children. Okay, so this is really my evening routine from we start, the order is always this. We start with our celebration, reflection, priority, and to-do. This is planning for the next day. And gratitude list. The only thing I didn't have time to explain, which is on my daily view, is affirmation. But I don't really have time to explain affirmation. But in my coaching program, I really teach my students how to practice affirmation, why this is really important. If you love this system, if you want a copy of the planner, let me know. And there can be a link in the description box for you to order a copy of the planner. And but this is the process. If you are interested in having your kid, teenager or young adult kid, work with me one-on-one so they can create something like this, a fully optimized evening routine to help them see their own progress, cultivate positivity bias, reclaim and elevate their confidence and motivation, you can use the link in the description box to book a complimentary consultation with me. And I will be the person reviewing your application. If your application is approved, you and I will have a Zoom chat. I will personally speak with you, listen to you, telling me about your children's unique challenges, and I will give you customized feedback and tell you more about my one-on-one coaching program. This is a teeny tiny small part of what I do with every single young person in my coaching program to help them reclaim and elevate their confidence, motivation, and success. And also, I want to share with you, very excited, in a few days, I have an upcoming free 5-day challenge that you can spend 5 days with me, and we are going to dive a lot deeper on many of the things that I discuss on my YouTube channel. If you are interested in taking advantage of the 5-day free challenge, use the link in the description box to register for the free challenge. I don't know how many days, how much longer I'm going to keep running those challenges for free. At some point, those challenges will not be free. So before that, take advantage, okay? And last but not least, definitely check out this video here. I discussed the powerful quarterly review process. So what I share with you here is only the evening routine. If you want to know a more comprehensive quarterly review system, and check out that video, and you can implement the quarterly review system at home with your children. Remember what I said at the beginning of this video, you want to create systems and structures to make your children, hold your children accountable to make those positive behavioral changes. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.